Hello and welcome to the Football Talk Exchange. I'm your host Shubham Thakkar, and today we'll be making a tier list of some of the best youngsters across Europe. So stick around till the end and do watch the entire video and let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I think we'll start right now.
So the
So the
first
first
player,
player we have,
uh,
okay,
go on.
the first player we have on this list is Carlos Alenia.
Then
Have I pronounced the name right?
yeah,
Are
yeah.
Yeah,
less, but yeah,
Carles.
you can
Okay,
call it anyone.
okay. So I think it's only fair that Aryan starts
Yeah,
because he knows more about Alenia
yeah.
than the
He was,
than Abhay and me. Sorry.
yeah. Alenia was supposed to be the proper next big thing for Barcelona. Like he was supposed to take over the midfield. Like he was supposed to be our next Xavi, Iniesta, one of the two, and he was supposed to score a lot more goals than
Mm-hmm.
them. Like he has definitely more of an attacking prowess than either of them. Obviously, not as good of a passer, but he was
Mm.
definitely more of like an attacking midfielder role, and he was supposed to like be the complement, a very good complement to Sergio Busquets, who was we obviously knew that was
Mm.
going to outlast Xavi or Iniesta at Barcelona. But things never shaped out very well for him.
Mm.
He went out on loan a couple times to Valencia. He's currently on loan to Betis. I don't know how much longer
Betis,
the
yeah.
loan cycle will go on. I think Barca should just let him progress with his career anyway, like they did with Sergi Samper recently, letting him go to Vissel Kobe. I think at this current moment, with what the career that he has had, he is definitely in Jesse Lingard.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't think he even starts
Abhay.
for a midfield of Betis. Like Betis
I don't
have
think that
much
us
midfield.
as non Barca fans can argue with a Barca fan about a Barca player.
Yeah.
So I haven't
Yeah.
seen him play a lot of times, but I thought like my first impression was that he would be like a Xavi and a Messi hybrid, like who
Hmm.
can pass
Yeah.
well, but he can also shoot as well. But
Attack. Yeah.
ob- obviously, like I haven't seen him on the team list too many times, and I think he belongs to the Jesse Lingard list. Like, I don't really know. I have no clue about him, but I agree with Aryan.
Given the career that he has had, he's definitely Jesse Lingard.
Mm-hmm. So again, like Abhay, I've not seen much of Alenia. The only time I've been like known to Alenia is on FIFA, and he's all right on FIFA. Uh, if you guys are saying that he, especially Aryan as a Barcelona fan, is saying he should be in Lingard category, I would agree with you then.
That's the thing with La
So next up
Masia. You
is
get more non-hitters than hitters.
yeah. I mean, recently that's been
Yeah, that's
true,
been the
very true.
case.
Like compared to the earlier generation, yeah.
Hmm. Next up, we have Hussein
So
Awar.
next up on this list
Kusuma,
is Husam Owar from Olympic Lyon. Uh, I don't think any of us have
I think
seen
Abhay
him
can
much
start
because the French
because
league, obviously.
yeah. So when Juventus lost 1-0 to Lyon, I unfortunately saw that match. Like not a complete match, but I saw some snippets of it, and I saw his assist to. I don't really remember who, but I
Tussart.
just saw his assist and yeah,
Lucas
Tussart, yeah,
Tussart.
yeah, yeah. So I saw the assist, and that was like a really brilliant, low heighted cross, like not really low, but like that's like a perfectly
Perfectly
heighted cross
weighted
to
cross.
Tussart, and
Hmm.
yeah, so I think he has a lot of potential with his fluidity in ball control. I think he should be in the decent category, but not really UCL quality because I don't think he'll fit in most of the top 10 UCL teams just yet. But I think he certainly has a potential to.
Okay.
Aryan, what do you think?
Yeah. One of the problems with the Leon youngsters is they usually tend to go amiss after the good seasons they have at Leon. Obviously, Lucas Tussart, we mentioned the goal he scored against Juventus. He's now currently at Hertha Berlin.
Yeah.
In one
Okay.
season span, that's how his career has gone. Like you would he's also 21. He's not that much older, and he from defensive midfield he seems to score a
Hmm.
lot of goals, like Hussein Awar as well. He he's not obviously a proficient goal scorer. He's more of like a playmaker, and like he obviously is a playmaker. He doesn't really shine in defense, but he can make the odd interception. He's not necessarily a ball winning midfielder. He's very good in attack, obviously, but I would say that Hussein Mawar should seek a move to a top club right now. Like, this would be the perfect time for him to go to a top club, because if he waits any more at Lyon, he's going to. I think his career is only going to go downhill, because Lyon this season, for the first time in a long time, have not qualified for the Champions League next season. I don't see any incentive for Aouar to stay with the talent that he has. But like, since I'm saying that, I would obviously put him in UCL quality.
All right. So I think the first time I was reading about Hussein Mawar, he was linked to Manchester City, and I saw this one article where I think it was 1 or 2 years ago when Lyon played Man City in the group stages of the Champions League.
Yes.
And Pep Guardiola was praising Hussein Mawar particularly a lot. And I've seen him. I've played with him on FIFA. So I think when a manager like Pep Guardiola is praising you, and he's doing quite well at Lyon. He's been linked to Man City and Juventus as well. I would put him in UCL quality again as well.
Let's hope that he doesn't have a career like Toussaint or Ndombele.
Ndombele.
Poor Lyon midfielders. Next up.
So next
maybe
up
a career like Tolisso would be decent.
Yeah.
Next up,
the cross spammer. We have Trent Alexander-Arnold,
the Inshallah merchant,
and
So Shubham would be the best player to start.
Premier League.
I was just about to say that. See, I know he's not a very good defender, but he's going to play in a team that's going to attack more than defend, and we know he's very good on the ball as a right back. So he's probably the rest. Some would argue that he is the best right back in the world right now. So I think I would put him in ballers category. And he does get a lot of assists, and he's good on set pieces as well. So yeah, I would put him in ballers category. Aryan, what do you think of this? I mean, you've seen some of his set pieces quite clearly.
Quite quickly.
I mean, the first memory I have of Trent Alexander-Arnold is from the Hoffenheim game for Liverpool to qualify into the Champions League, I think 3 years ago. Like, that was the place where Trent actually started making his mark. And since then, his career has only gone upwards. Obviously, he was elected into the UEFA Team of the Year this year. And he's forms the best fullback duo in the world right now alongside Andy Robertson. I think we all can agree on that. Like, they're obviously not the best at defending. Robertson much better than Trent, but they are one of the most gifted offensive fullbacks, a pair of offensive fullbacks in the world. He obviously has a lot of quality. He's still, even though he has a lot of years behind him, he's still relatively new to the scene. He still can get a big money move to obviously he can stay at Liverpool and establish a dynasty. He can still move and improve his career much, much better than it already is. He can reduce the volume of his crossing, focus more on the efficiency side of his game, improve a lot on defense. He'll become one of the best players in his position. So I think ballers is one of the perfect categories for a player like Arnold.
So the first time I saw him was versus us in the 2018 CL final, and he was quite average to start with, but ever since then he has obviously taken off, and during the last PL season I think he had the highest assists for a defender, I think.
Yes, ever.
Yeah. So I think ever since then he has taken off quite a bit, especially in that corner taking quickly situations. And I think so I wouldn't rate him that much as a proper right back, but as a wing back hybrid, he's quite effective and although he spams crosses, I think it's like he fits perfectly into a defense with Van Dijk and Gomez / Matip to cover for him. So I think uh, so taking into account his prowess at attacking as well as defending, like he isn't that great, but he's decent. Like can't judge him on that. So I think
Decent, yeah.
he should fit in the ballers category.
Yeah.
So next up, wait, yeah,
Next up, we have Arthur Melo
Afterwards,
from Barcelona. Yeah. I think Aryan again. I think it's only fair you start.
yeah. Arthur bought the end of last season. I think he did struggle a lot initially to fit into the Barca midfield, but his performance in the 5-1 was really good. The 5-1 El Clasico, obviously, his performance was really good. He has had some niggles with the injuries and some problems, but I think with Frankie De Jong going forward, Barca might potentially have, if both of them live up to their potential, one of the best midfields in the world with both of them. He definitely has a lot of talents. He has the Brazilian flair. He is good on the ball. He has great vision. His 1-2s and long balls to Jordi Alba are a treat to watch because we have such fullbacks that can overlap all the time. His vision is very, very helpful in such a situation. He's obviously more offensive oriented than defensive oriented, which makes him like what Rafinha was supposed to be for us, what Carles Alenia was supposed to be for us. But none of them translated. I hope Arthur Melo lives up to his potential. Currently, I would say he's not really a baller. He's definitely UCL quality though. Abhay?
Yeah, so I haven't seen quite a lot of him, but I saw him in both the legs of this season's El Clasico, and he didn't like stand out, but he was quite good on the ball and off the ball. Like his runs were quite good, and he made a great midfield trio with Busquets and De Jong, and I think his passing is his flair and his strong point. I think he has the potential to be like a Xavi Iniesta duo with De Jong and with Arthur being the passer of the two. So I think he should fit in the UCL quality, but he surely has the potential to be in the ballers quality or the Ballon d'Or.
Oh, I mean that's a big statement.
Because midfielders usually
Again, I think
Yeah.
yeah, unless they score a lot of goals and
have one of
win
the
a lot of
best seasons
trophies.
ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened with Yaya Toure,
Again, I
but
think
he didn't win.
I think both of you have covered everything I would want to say about Arthur. I haven't seen. I don't remember seeing him in the El Clasico as well. I think right now he is UCL quality, but in the years to come he could definitely move up to the ballers category.
So, one of the best defensive monsters in the Premier League.
Spiders.
Next on this list we have.
Spider-Man.
Next up on this list is Spider-Man Aaron Van Bissaka, and I would want to go first for this player.
I think it's only right.
So I think he is. If you want to talk about defensive fullbacks, he is easily the best defensive fullback we have in the world right now. I think there's no argument about that. We've seen that he usually does not dive into the tackle. He waits for the winger to commit, and then he uses his reach to get the ball away from the winger. Like usually it goes out for a throw-in, or he makes an interception at times as well. If he could improve on his attacking, he would easily be the best right back in the world. Right now, I would put him in ballers category. I mean, slowly, gradually in the season, I've seen him improving his crossing and his attacking abilities as well. So that is it from my side. Yeah.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with Shubham. Like, obviously, he doesn't follow the Maldini philosophy of like, if I have to make a
If I
tackle,
tackle, it's
I've already
mistake.
made a
Yeah.
mistake. He doesn't care one bit. He is perfect in his defensive positioning. He knows where the winger is going to go. His anticipation is really good. I only have seen like a few highlights of him. I obviously am not an avid Premier League fan as such, but from what I hear, from what the stat sheet suggests, from what I've watched from highlights, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has the potential to be one of the like obviously Trent or Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to be one of the best right backs down the line. So it's for obviously the different reasons. Trent has to go better on defending, and Wan-Bissaka has to become better on attacking.
Yeah.
So
Attacking, yeah.
but I think because Trent does so much volume and Aaron Wan-Bissaka is so much more efficient, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has the higher potential to like become the best right back in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
So I am definitely putting him in ballers.
Yeah.
Abhay?
Yeah, so I haven't seen him play a lot of games, but when I've seen him like last season when he played for Palace, he was pairing up quite a lot with Van Aert on the as the two wing backs, and I
Right hand
think
side.
yeah.
Right inside with
So
Zaha and
he
fullbacks with
yes,
Arnold, right?
yeah. So he's a great player, and he, as Aryan said, he does not care. He doesn't give a fuck where he wants to tackle. Please thoda bleep kar dena. Yes, so I've seen him play, and he's like. So I saw this somewhere. He's basically Vieira playing at right back. He doesn't care who he's playing against, but he just tackles them right there and then. And I think he should be in the ballers category because he's one of the best at what he should be, like as a right back. So I think he's in the ballers category for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the recent Manchester derby, and like the one before that, he had Sterling in his pocket. And I remember that one incident. Yeah, I remember that one incident when Mahrez tried to do the elastico, and Wan-Bissaka even tackled that move. So I mean, I don't have much to say
Yeah,
again about
Mahrez
it.
is one of the fastest and most skillful in the Prem. So
Yeah.
And
next on this list we have Rennes' young talent Eduardo Camavinga, who has been strongly linked to Real Madrid this season. And I think for that reason, I would want Abhay to go first.
Yeah. So I've seen his highlights, especially the one where he played versus PSG, and he stripped them of 3 points. Like he really stripped them. Like so in their defense, they had Verratti, Marquinhos, and I think Di Maria, and he just played with them toe to toe, and he's a very good two sided midfielder. So he can exploit the spaces, and he can make backward runs to defend. And I think he's like the younger version of Federico Valverde because he's a tank and he's really lean, but obviously like he has a lot of stamina and he can defend as well as attack. So currently he goes into the decent for me because personally like he hasn't performed consistently in the big stages, but I think he can surely go on and play in the UCL one day. Hashtag Real Madrid. So yeah, he would
Hashtag
go into
Galactico.
the category.
Sorry.
Yeah, continue.
To think that Camavinga is 2 years younger than all of us, it makes me just feel old. Like this man is 2 years younger.
1 year for me.
He
So
is 17 right now.
Yeah, so 1 year younger than both of you and 2 years than me. So
yeah,
it just
But he's
makes-
17 right now, and we both are 17 as well. I mean, Abhay and
yeah,
myself.
we are
I
17.
mean, I think he's
So
born in
he's-
October. I think he's born in October. So
But I'm not sure
whatever.
about that. Okay.
9 months or whatever. But still, okay, same age as you. Still, like he's tearing it up in obviously Ligue 1, which is the
League
smallest
One,
of the
but,
top
yeah.
5 leagues. But still, for a 17-year-old to dominate that much, to carry them, not single-handedly, obviously, to carry them to a top 4 position into a Champions League position is a great achievement. He's obviously more gifted on the defensive side of the ball than he is going forward. He's more of the CDM role. Federico Valverde can more
Same
attack
CDM.
a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more box to box than Camavinga is.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Mm.
to get a CDM like Camavinga, Real Madrid would have done a very good job because Rennes is one of the richest clubs in France right now because of their owner situation. And obviously, Camavinga has a verbal agreement with the owner to stay if they qualified for the Champions League, which they have. So maybe there will be a war of words. Maybe there will be a big transfer fee thrown at them, which they cannot deny. But yeah, all of this just goes to signify the amount of talent this man has. He's definitely in UCL quality, in my opinion, because Rennes next year, if they went into the UCL, Camavinga would be
He would be
pivotal.
playing for them, yeah.
He would be pivotal for them. Not only playing for them,
True.
he could maybe take them to the second position in a group.
Yeah.
So UCL quality for me.
Again, so it's up to me to decide if he's UCL quality or decent. I think, yeah, the game against PSG really put him into the limelight. And ever since then, he's been playing consistently for Rennes. Obviously, he has that verbal agreement with the board of directors or the owners, whatever the situation is. But if Real Madrid are apparently willing to pay 60 million euros or 75 million euros, even in this market, it just goes on to show the amount of quality that the player has. And just on the transfer situation with him, apparently Real Madrid have also started like personal talks with Camavinga to convince him to join the club. Yeah. So that could get interesting in the summer.
So where do you rank him?
So I think, yeah, like I would put him in the UCL quality category.
Yeah, I would think so.